We've teamed up with UK Auto Claims to see if you could be eligible to claim thousands in compensation. If you've had any cars, vans or motorbikes on finance between 2007 and 2021, well, just click the link below and start your simple free check.
Hi, welcome to AFTV. I've got Robbie with me. We've just beaten Newcastle 1-0 here at the Emirates. Finally, we've beaten Newcastle this season and scored with a win.
Yeah, because we hadn't scored against them up until
the three
and it was a great goal, wasn't it? Declan Rice, fantastic finish, edge of the box. And I think in the second, I thought the first half Arsenal were dreadful. You know what I mean? The tempo weren't right. You know what I mean? I don't know. We were just off. As a matter of fact, we had Raya to thank. On the one hand, he was giving them all the chances, but then he was saving them. You know what I mean? So
were we lucky Isak wasn't playing today?
I'll get to that in a minute, right? But you know, first off, you know, I thought, you know, Raya saved us in that first half, but second half we dominated that second half, and I think we deserved overall to win it, and an important win. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I know we were disappointed that we've not, you know, won the league, but you've also got to make the Champions League, and that certifies now. I think certifies second, certifies we make the Champions League, and listen, it's not what we wanted. I'm happy that we're disappointed with second, because you know what? A few seasons ago, this would be a celebration that Arsenal have made the top four. Now, look, not even one person has spoken about it. Right? I think I'm the first one who's even mentioned we made the top four.
Yeah, James said a bad season, finishing second. You can't blame too much.
You know, you made a good point there when we're talking about our season. And I had a little back and forth with Yardman earlier. I think, listen, I since I was over in Kenya the other day, I was really disappointed. And big up to all the Kenyans, by the way. That watch party last week.
Crazy.
In Kenya, in Nairobi, was amazing. 2,000 Kenyan fans, mad, passionate, absolutely unbelievable. So big up to them. But when I was over in Kenya the other day, following that Liverpool game, I was sort of like, you know, you sit down and you reflect a bit on the season. And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, which team would have won the Premier League with the amount of injuries that Arsenal have had? You just said it. Isak's out. People are like, yeah, but people are coming up to me, yeah, but Isak weren't playing. That's one guy.
Yeah.
One player missing. People are coming up to, Isak, Matty Renton misses me. Isak can't play. That's one guy. Yeah, we've had Saka out for 4 months. Gabriel Magalhaes, one of the best centre-backs in the league, missing since the start of March. Havertz, who we saw today, that's the first time we've seen him since February. Right, Jesus out. Right, since whether you think Jesus is the answer as a striker or not, missing since, you know, January, out for the season. Right, I'm not even on about, listen, the Martinelli injuries and that, I'm not on about. Every team gets those, you know what I mean? Player out for 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I'm on about long-term injuries, right? Tomiyasu out the whole season. Ben White missing a big portion of the first part of the season. Martin Odegaard out for 3 months at the start of the season. Ben White missed literally. Ben White's only just come back now. What team with 27 injuries, which is the most amount of injuries that of any team in the Premier League that Arsenal have suffered this season, what team would have won it?
Should we have won it last season then? Because we had no injuries then.
Brother, I'm not on about this season.
I have to give you the opposite.
I asked Yardman, and now you're coming with that because you. But I know you've been wait a minute. You're a big critic of Arteta.
No, but I'm a logical critic about it.
You're a big critic about Arteta, right? Which is fair enough.
Yeah.
But right now we're talking about this season. You've been coming here every day and every week and talking about this season. I'm saying, I don't want to hear about last season's gone. We should have.
It's relevant. It's relevant information.
Last season,
no, we ran the squad to the ground last season. No, like
that's his fault.
No,
the injuries are his fault as well.
Yeah, it is his fault.
No, to me.
No, because he didn't address the squad.
Basically,
he thought we could just run with the first team the whole time.
Basically,
no, you can't do that. It's not FIFA.
Hold on. So basically, he's answered my question, in that he also knows he can't answer that, right? Even though he's a big Arteta critic. The amount of injuries that we've had, if Liverpool had that, they would not have won the. Listen, let me finish.
Bad boy keeper, bro.
Right.
Out.
If Liverpool had that amount of injuries, 27, like to so many key players, they wouldn't have won the league. We all know it.
Yeah,
it's not fashionable to say.
Yeah, no one would though.
It's not fashionable to say, but it's the truth. If City, they've not been the same team. They've not been the same team this season because of injuries, right?
I could agree on that.
Right. you look at other teams, right? You know, I look at Chelsea. They'll have a couple of injuries. I'm not saying they would have won the league, but if Lavia or a couple of players are out, Spurs have had their worst season ever. They've had 21 injuries. It is a factor. We cannot just stand here and overlook it. Now, where I will say, right, I'm with my man here, where I would say two things, right? Number one, in the summer, they should have bought a striker. But having said that, even he would still have thought that would have been enough if he wouldn't have had those horrendous, because you could have bought a striker and he could have been out as well.
We still lack squad depth, though.
Right?
We still lack squad depth.
But
we still
no, but even that is.
We're so lucky. Lewis Skelly in 1 year we emerged.
Now hold on. So
And
now
he's
hold on.
And Mikel Marino
Hold
stepped
on,
in.
wait a
I mean,
minute.
he
Wait,
did all right.
1 second again. So this again is a ridiculous myth. Let me finish my point. If we didn't have squad depth, we wouldn't be second. We'd be where Tottenham are.
No, because
If we didn't have, listen. I just told you, right? I just told you.
Liverpool, bro.
Manchester City is the team that everybody always points to and says they have unbelievable squad depth, and they are going to finish below us.
They signed Mamouche. We signed nobody.
And they went and made signings. So I'm telling you, right? You're making the point. You've got to be honest. When you look at things, I told you, I sat there in Kenya, and I took a look at it, and I said, I'm going to be completely honest. It's not. Listen, I'm as disappointed as you, but we have to be honest, bro. City, they're going to finish below us. Everyone says they've got the best squad depth.
They've had the worst season. Even the game yesterday against Palace, they were not in it. They were not in the game.
Bro,
Palace were deserved winners. Won their season this season,
listen.
But no, we
cannot-
didn't address
You know
the
what
squad
it is,
depth,
right?
no
When
striker.
the truth
What
is in
truth?
front of people, they want to deny
You're
it.
Arteta backer. What truth?
Listen, I'm an Arsenal backer. I'm an Arsenal backer. I want to see Arsenal win the league, right? But you have to be honest with things. You talk about squad depth.
Be honest about this. What other club does a process thing? What other?
He's under pressure
what other
because
club,
the truth's hitting.
No. What do you mean? What other club does process? A big club. We're meant to be a big club. Even when we were.
would you get?
Listen, let me just say, you'll have your say in a minute.
Yeah.
When the truth hits people, they cannot. It's an uncomfortable truth to some people. For you it is. Because I've never seen you jumping on my interviews like this. It's an uncomfortable truth for him. It was an uncomfortable truth when I put it to Yardman. Right? He couldn't answer the question. Watch the interview. He's tripping all over the place because it's the truth. The injuries that Arsenal have had this season, which have been horrendous,
Last season,
right, is a factor, a big factor. Now, when people see that, they want to tell me about last season.
That's a fair argument.
So I'm saying, right,
we should have won something.
I'm saying it's a factor. Now, let's go out there and let's look ahead now. Let's go out there in the summer and strengthen this team, right? And when I say strengthen this team, I'm not about going and buying another 10 players, right, to say, because we've got squad depth. But we're lacking in some positions, and the main one is a striker. There's no player in that Arsenal team this season that's hit over 10 goals.
You were happy with
right?
that striker, though.
Right? There's no player.
You were happy. Sporting. You know, you were talking about a Champions League. We don't need a striker. Man said we don't need a striker. You said that.
I know you're under
You
pressure.
said that. What under
Stop
pressure?
sweating. You're under pressure because the truth is
I will own what I
He's
say.
rattling, he's rattling.
Go back to all the interviews this season. See if this guy's jumped in this many times. You're going to get a chance to talk. And by the way, right, the striker that we've got, who I would have liked to have seen us bring in a striker from the summer, right, and in January, but the striker that we got was injured, both of them. And big up to Mikel Marino. He came in and he done a really good job. Remember, it was him who scored the equaliser last week at Liverpool, right? Right. So
I'm not saying I don't, but why did we sign him? Why did we sign him at the time as a midfielder?
But again, people, we've got no squad depth.
We don't have
but we've
squad
got
depth. We're
players.
playing a centre
Hold
midfield as a
on,
striker,
people. We got no
We don't have
squad.
squad
People,
depth.
we've got no squad depth.
We got no squad depth.
We got no squad depth.
Joking.
But
Even last season we didn't. We just got lucky without injuries.
Brother, you're embarrassing yourself now. You know.
No, I don't.
Right?
Own what I
Listen.
say.
Hold on.
You said we didn't need a striker.
We got no squad depth, people. What Mikel Marino's done, who people like him were saying is a crap signing.
No, I didn't.
There's a lot of people who said Mikel Marino was an awful signing. Look what he's done. sit back and analyse. The guy's come in, he's not a striker, and he's done a brilliant job coming in at Arsenal.
You're rewriting the context, though.
Mars Lewis Skelly, we got no squad depth, people. He's about 5th choice left back. He's coming and because of injuries, he's had to come in and do that job. Got himself into the England squad, but we got no squad depth, right? We got no squad depth, people, right? There's a lot of players that came in because of injuries and stepped up. Tottenham Hotspur, as I said, are finishing 17th in this league. So people, you know what I mean? You have to be honest with these things. Now let's go in the summer and guys get a striker. I'd like to see Victor Gyökeres come in. I think for what's available, I think he'd be the best player that we could bring, because I really don't think we're going to get Isak. You know what I mean? So I think Victor Gyökeres is the next best thing. I think his goal scoring record over the past couple of seasons have been unbelievable. He's done it in the Championship. And let's not diss Championship players, because Ivan Toney came from the Championship. Ollie Watkins came from the Championship. Mitrovic came from the Championship, right? They're some of the best strikers that we've had in the recent seasons, right? So I think Victor Gyökeres, I want to see him as that marquee signing this season. I think if you put a guy that's going to come in and get 20 plus goals, that's what Arsenal need. And we need to make signings in other positions. But that's the one I most want to see. And next season, we just have to go again.
We have to go again. Can I just, before we close, because I'm pondering on a question. Your theory is no one wins the league with that many injuries, and I actually think that's fair. 27 injuries, and they keep.
Show me any team around Europe
Right,
that do that.
Right. So then, when it comes to the Champions League, then surely we had no hope from the get-go.
Did anyone think, right, even at the start of the season, nobody came here and said we're going to win the Champions League? We did well to get to. Listen, we're disappointed again. We did well to get as far as we did. You know what I mean? When we had Real Madrid in the quarterfinals, nobody gave us a chance to remember. Let's remember that, people. Yeah. As I said, you know what I mean? Because people don't like to deal with the truth. Let's remember that. I famously said we got a 40% chance. I was told I'm deluded. Yeah. Right. So let's remember these things. Right. So. But it's all about next season. It's all about, because the one criticism, which is true, is that Mikel Arteta has not got us over the line. So what does he do to get us over the line? Because he's going to be under pressure next season. If he doesn't win something next season, you do have to look at making a change. Because you can't just keep being runners up, second, semi-finals all the time. You do have to win. You can't, you're not going to be able to, he's not going to be able to make any excuses next season, because people are going to have such an expectation to win something. So go out there and get, there's no point in talking about this season because it's over. We've got one game left, bro.
No, but after that, mark my word, after the season ends next season and we don't win nothing,
I just said,
he'll say, oh, next season.
People, we've got here, we got a video running where I just said,
This is the next season.
I just said, people, he has to win something next season. And I've been oh my God. I'm out, man. But listen, everybody enjoy their summer. Wait, we got one more game. We've got one more game. Enjoy your summer. And before I go, I want to bring my man. Right, just tell him. I know you. I remember you had your thing when you was riding.
Yeah,
riding to all the grounds.
London Stadium. So
did you do it? Did you complete it?
No. So I'm going to Crystal Palace in 2 weeks. Yeah, but I'm raising money to to fix the construction of a church in Western Uganda for the children. In 3 weeks, we've raised over £500. So the link will be in the bio below. So please donate, share the page, and get involved. And I want to thank both of you for showing the best of Eastern Africa in Uganda. And
we should be in Uganda.
We're going there soon. Yeah. We're going to Uganda soon.
Don't worry.
No.
African Cup of Nations 2027.
Oh, we'll be there.
We'll be there.
But thank you so much. It's Arteta in. Whoever wants to say Arteta out, you're a Neanderthal. You're a Neanderthal. You're a Neanderthal. And no, Arteta has done an amazing job this season. He's progressed every single year. Every single season you can see he's increased the points. This season he hasn't, but he's reached the semi-finals. But thank you so much. Thank you guys. Let's wrap it up.
Take care.
Love.